couldn't resist. We have to go right into the next the next reading. Let's see. And if you didn't check out the one that I posted right before this, go back and have a look. Okay, now I'm going to pose the question, what's going to be ending for a lot of you watching this with the October 10th energy portal, which you've already been in for a couple of weeks. You will be in for a couple of weeks after. What is ending? Oh, she's out. She jumped out. Queen of Ariel. Mature, practical, generous, happy. Nurture yourself and those you love. The ability to make anything more beautiful. Practical and wise advice. Already I'm feeling and I'm hearing the end of delusional thinking. This makes me feel like the Instagram model who thinks she's a runway model. No offense to Instagram models. That takes work too. And you're gorgeous. Okay, cool. But that's what this felt like immediately. So here's the card. Take it, especially you tarot readers, if you're used to the structure. There you go. There's that energy. You may be like, that's not what that card means. Well, she's a little full of herself. You know what I mean? She's sort of, I can't hold the card up and do the emoji, but it's my favorite. I swear. I got to find it so I can use it more. It's so funny with the nails and the, but yeah, she's giving that kind of energy. And that was the feeling, or maybe I'm just a little too influenced. And it's just stuck in my brain, but I don't know. She's just a little like, look at me. But you know what? This is funny. You're not going to be able to see it because it's not going to focus. But what's really funny is she's like all fancy and everything, but there ain't a thing on that table. There's not a thing on that table. There's no like bounty or anything like that. Like, she's a mess. Okay, so let's go over here. This one's sticking out. Leap of faith. Y'all. Yeah, so I feel like for a lot of you, what's ending is pretending. You know, I'm joking, like she's full of herself, like whatever, being delusional. But I think this also, in all seriousness, I think this is, you're not pretending like everything's okay anymore. Maybe you were trying to be good vibes only, which we know is just toxic. Or you were just trying to be positive. You're just trying to get through your day. You're just trying to survive, right? And you're saying, you know what? Time to call time of death on this. You know, whether that's a business, a relationship, or a way of thinking. I think for 75% of you, it's just a way of thinking. It's coming out of denial. Okay. I keep using the example of, cleaning up your house, right? If your house is wrecked, and you don't like that, that's not usually like you. Where's the clutter coming from? Your energy will show itself in the physical realm. It's known to show itself in your body by, how vibrant your skin is, how much weight or not enough weight you have on you, too much or not enough. Do you have aches and pains in your body? Are you fatigued? This is not medical advice. It's not psychiatric advice whatsoever. Always consult a professional, okay? But your environment is reflecting back to you what needs to be not fixed, but resolved, okay? Now, if you're looking, let's stay with the example of the home. Your home's messy. If you're looking around, you're going, why am I hanging on to this stuff? Is it because you're trying to hang on to a piece of time? There are things, I'm thinking of the example of clothes. There are certain clothes that would probably never fit me again. I'm like perimenopausal now. Like, I got fat and I don't think it's going back. I think this is it. I think this is what we're doing now. Okay. And I have dresses that are several sizes too small, but I can't get rid of them now. I'm also very sentimental. Okay, so one of those dresses is the first dress I ever wore for my very first video. I'm never going to get rid of that. Another one is just a really hot dress that I swear I'm just like, ugh, it's just so hot. I just want to wear it. But I don't know that I'm gonna. But, looking around, and I have a pile of clothes that I'm going to go through. They're back over there in the corner. And I'm going through and I'm like, somebody else could get use out of these. Why am I hanging on to these in the vain hope that I'm going to fit into these size jeans one day? That's so stupid. Get rid of it, right? So here's that, coming out of denial, basically. Now, that is not typical of the Queen of Arrow. Queen of Arrow has her own gig, okay? Like, she's somebody who maybe she made her own wealth. And maybe you have, but now you're having to go, I don't know, maybe it just needs to be over, right? Like for you, I was saying the Instagram model, maybe you're like, I'm tired of Instagram. I'm tired of it. I want a new beginning. Okay, so moving on. Sorry, that was a very long explanation of that card. So we're zeroing out. There is the zero on here. Leap of faith, Archangel Metatron. Metatron comes in here and says, knock it off. Okay, you've already learned your lesson around this. Like, let it go. Okay, let it go. Or if this is with a person from your past or so, there's a lot of that kind of coming up. I don't know. I feel like divine partners are finding their way to each other. Maybe you crossed paths at one point and you didn't get to solidify. So now having a clean slate, taking a different approach. Okay. So Metatron says it's time to hop on that timeline, a different timeline, and allow it to develop. Yes. So not just doing a time loop and repeating the same old lessons, right? Believe in yourself. Listen to your heart. Do what gives you joy. See, we're not messing around with what it looks like to other people anymore. We're saying, no, I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be at peace. And if that means I have to get rid of a ton of stuff from my home, okay. If that means I got to take a day off of work, okay. If that means I have to walk away from a relationship, okay. If it means I got all kind of them. If it means I got to pick up the phone and resolve something, we're doing that. We got this for the previous message. This is Ace of Michael, a wonderful new idea. Don't allow bumps in the road to hinder your progress. Clear up communication problems with others. Something's really going to open up. I feel like in a very important way when you do clear up those communication issues. So if you can't remember why, okay, now I'm going to say this carefully. If you can't remember why you stopped talking to someone, maybe, and you feel pulled to reach out to them, maybe it's not a bad idea. Now, I have done this with exes. Come in. Sometimes it takes a matter of 2 text messages and I'm like, that's why I'm not talking to you. I'm out. Okay. Kind of thing. So you'll know right away, hopefully. Now, this is, again, not encouraging anyone that you might have a trauma bond with or something, running back to them. Or if you finally got the courage up to go no contact with somebody who, say, was narcissistically abusive. No. That took so much for you to get out of that situation. Don't go back to an awful situation. This is like healthy dynamics where maybe there was just a disagreement. You parted ways over that. Okay. The Chariot. I'm telling you all, clear up the energy because things are going to go flying forward and it's not going to look perfect. The Chariot usually has some representation of black and white, the shadow and the light. So here we have unicorns. Look, I didn't do the cards. Okay, I love them. They have a good energy about them. They are a little precious. They're a little precious, but I like unicorns. Whatever. Okay, leave it alone. So we have the light and the dark, and you're not going to be able to see, but on the Chariot there is Metatron's cube. Okay, so keeping it sacred. Keeping it clean out here in these streets, okay? Determination and self-control, career advancement, acknowledgement of success by others. So, but again, approaching everything with a sense of purity and knowing that, let's say I used this in the last video, this example, the one that got away. Well, that person, maybe in your head, you've put them on a pedestal, but they're going to have a shadow aspect. Lord knows, especially in my old age, I have gotten to a point where it's supposed to be a peaceful angel medium and all that for the most part. But you pushed me several times and I've given you firm warnings. I'm gonna meet you where you live. Okay. And now we're gonna we're gonna have it out. So that's the shadow aspect, one of many. I also snore. I don't recall ever doing that. I used to talk in my sleep. Now I wake my own self up snoring. So I think that's the old age part. But anyway, you can't put sharing so much on the internet. You can't put somebody on a pedestal because they're going to have that shadow aspect. Or thinking of somebody as so bad. They were just so bad. But maybe you don't have the whole story. Maybe you thought they were doing something bad, but they weren't. They were well within the bounds of whatever their agreement is or whatever. Okay. There was a time where I thought someone was cheating on their spouse. And they did have a spouse, but it turns out it wasn't cheating, if you know what I mean. Okay. But sometimes we got to mind our own business. Okay. People are going to be peopling. So just leave it. All right. But Archangel Metatron with the chariot, full force ahead, full speed ahead. And it's like we're leaving behind the pretending that we're okay. Right. That's the Queen of Ariel. That feels like, just in this particular reading, it feels like we're kind of leaving that behind. We're getting real with ourselves. We're telling ourselves the truth. I'm not happy doing this anymore. I'm not happy in this dynamic. I'm not happy, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then you get going on the new chapter. But it's through this inspiration. So it's not the wands, right? It's more intellectual. It's Michael. But Michael's about clarity and courage. So it's sort of like I'm deciding to commit to myself and I'm going for it. 5 of Gabriel. People are going to fight you on this. They don't want you being happy. I don't know who they is, but a challenge you can resolve. Withdraw from the drama of others. Have patience with yourself and those around you. This is, others being uncomfortable with your clarity. Maybe being a little jealous of your clarity. Maybe that something is right for you. It was always right for you, but someone always talked you out of it. Or someone guilted you into staying, or guilted you in some way so you didn't move on. And now you're seeing through that. Now you're going, no, I never took that because I was being guided away from it. I know this is what I want. That's where I'm heading. And someone's going to try it again. Or maybe many someones. Oh my gosh, you're not going to go down that path again. Oh my gosh, you're not going to contact that person again. You have to listen to your own heart. Okay, we'll get one more card here. 2 of Michael. See, you're having to fight your way out of a situation. So this could be, let me read this. It says, it will all be better if you just make a decision. Overanalyzing a problem, find a compromise. So part of this is someone who I'm getting the example of like a mom, and maybe you're a daughter, okay? And she's saying, well, you need to find a husband. And you're like, well, I fell in love with this person. Not him. He's not a lawyer or a doctor. By the way, I do readings for lawyers and doctors, and they don't like their job half the time. I'm just letting you know. I know everybody's secrets over here, okay? Like, they're not always happy in their jobs. But, it could be that, because someone looks better on paper, your parent wants you to go that direction when you're in love with someone else. And maybe you felt pressure to let that other person go, right? It's very Romeo and Juliet, yes? That you had to let that person go, but eventually you're going to come back together. So that's part of this. Now, the 2 of Michael is also battling yourself because of this. So here we go. So here's what this is doing. Yes, you know what? That is the right thing for me. That's the right career. It's the right house. It's the right person. And I've always known that. I'm going to go for it. And someone's like, you can't possibly. Are you kidding? What about everything that, we need you here at this job? How dare you move on? What about the kids? We know this marriage has been done for literally over a decade because staying for the kids, and trying to talk you out of moving on. And then you start doubting yourself and saying, well, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I don't know what's best for me. This can be a wild, wild ride here. Now, I'm only reading for a week. So it'll change. But what occurs this week could be out of left field. It could have you ticking a lot of people off. I almost feel like some of you may get offered, like maybe you haven't been in a job for very long and you get a better offer. And maybe you weren't really appreciated where you are. This better offer comes along and you turn around and say, hey, hi, I don't think that this job is the right fit. I'm going to take another opportunity. And they're like, why? We had you first kind of thing. Or how dare you betray us? You know what I mean? Like just thinking about themselves. We don't have time for that. We don't have room for that. Now, if you want a personal reading with me, you want me to dive in and we can look at your angelic messaging. We can bring in archangels. We can see how many angels are around you. Guardian angels will come and go. You have 2 typically. I'm sure that's not the rule, but from what I pick up, 2 that you're born in with. And then throughout your timeline, other angels will come in to help you learn certain lessons. So we can see what angels are around you. And also, if you want to do an Akashic Records reading, we could do all those things. Just know that if you choose a live session, it's going to be a little awkward with the Akashic. I'm cool with it if you are, okay? So anyway, standard readings, angelsouls444.com. If you would like a live session, I have to book those out a little bit. I am booked up, but I can find a spot. And if I have availability to add more sessions, I might be able to do that as well. So email me at angelsouls444@gmail.com. I'm sending you all so much love and take care.